Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy episode 379. For some reason I
fucking crazy.
Thought I had another number. I thought it was like 700 something. No, 379. I think that's right. That's my little folder here. It says 300.
9,000.
300. It's all, yeah. It's over 9,000. 379 for the week of December 11th, 2018. Let me turn down the buzzer on my phone so it doesn't buzz during the podcast.
Oh, wait, are you recording right now?
I am recording.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that's fine. That's fine.
This is not outtakes.
No, we're fine. No, we're fine.
We go straight. It's live recording.
Yeah. We're doing it live.
No editing on this podcast.
My name is Ryan Higgins. Who's here with me this week?
Brock Sager.
Kevin Sharp.
Chris Bunch.
Hey, Chris. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
From the great state of Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. Welcome back up to Northern California. How are you surviving winter in L.A.? About 70, 75 at the low end.
This guy doesn't even have a coat on right now. The rest of us are wearing like sweaters, and he's like, man, whatever.
Well, I do keep the store a little chilly, right?
On Tuesdays you do, because
we're all busting ass. I did turn it up a degree, so the heater at least will. If you want it, Kevin, you got your jacket on. If you want to go turn that up a degree or two, go for it. I can't do like 75 on a heater because I'll melt. I keep it at like 65, 66. Like that's
our live studio audience just showed up.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Is that Charlie? Is that Charlie pulling a Toby? Charlie's finally here. Nadia's here. I said we are not waiting for anyone. I didn't even wait for Charlie. That's how serious I was. But Charlie made it within
and yet we've gone deep into the episode with no Charlie.
We're a minute and a half. Everyone needs to hear it. We need it.
Hello. And Charlie.
There you go. There it is. All right. Now the podcast can begin. And Charlie. There it is. Charlie, hello.
Hello.
Chris, but we were talking. L.A. How's L.A.? How's Southern California treating you?
Pretty nice. Lots of sun.
Okay. Yeah. Better than up here.
Yeah.
At least weather-wise.
Yeah.
A little less smoke down there.
A lot less smoke.
You're gonna be here. We're doing a double episode tonight, so I'm gonna be gone next week. Holiday crap, so I figure we're gonna do 2 episodes tonight. So Chris is gonna be here for both, and we're gonna keep it a little short. No Bryce, no Toby on this episode, so
no Scott.
There'll be at least no Scott. So there'll be at least under 5 hours total. Okay?
We have a fighting chance of getting in at an hour on this one.
An hour and change. Yeah, that's usually my sweet spot.
Are these going to be released as one big block or
no? This episode's going up tonight as normal. Okay. Next, we're going to do a small non-spoiler talk about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Myself and Charlie both got to see advanced screenings of it, so we're going to talk about that, but keep it spoiler-free. That will go up next week, which after the movie is out, but once we're going to do our year-end, and I'm sure we'll talk more about it in depth after the fact. We have our Aquaman episode to do than our year-end stuff. So this will go up the following week. We're going to do some Q&A for the next episode as well, so... some different recording schedule through the rest of December because I'm going to be on vacation and then back, and Christmas and New Year's both fall on Tuesdays, and that's our normal recording day. So we're going to be changing stuff up a little bit here.
But we're still going to give you quality content on those days.
Well, content.
If everything goes according to plan, you'll wake up bright and early Tuesday morning with our Aquaman review episode. So if there's a better Christmas present than us talking about Aquaman for 2 hours, I don't know what it is.
2 hours?
There's no Bryce again.
Yeah.
But
it's Aquaman, and it's a DC movie. Like,
maybe we'll work.
Yeah, but I'm hoping with no Bryce, it means there'll be less arguing, which means we won't get into one of those endless circles of the same discussion.
The plan is Bryce will be on our year-end episode, our 2-parter year-end episode. We're going to Skype him in. If he sees Aquaman, I will be more than happy to put his, I'm sure, epic rant about how terrible it is at the end of our conversation. So we'll see if he even goes to see it. Let's talk about some comic book stuff.
Comic books.
We talk about that stuff occasionally. Let's start at the end.
What?
Oh, wait. Sorry. No. Incorrect. We have to talk about something else first. Before we talk about that, why don't you listen to this?
Oh, hello there. My name's Chip Zdarsky, and I'm going to be the new writer of Daredevil from Marvel Comics starting in February. I've known Ryan Higgins for a long time. We go way back online. And I love his shop, Comics Conspiracy. So I'm hoping all of his customers will be ordering my book. I know Ryan, a bit of a DC fan, and, to each their own. Not here to judge, but, DD better than DC. That's what I'm going to say. I just came up with that. And so I hope you guys can overlook your DC bias and pick up Daredevil #1 from me, Chip Zdarsky, and Marco Cicchetto. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
And there you have it. That was comic book writer Chip Zdarsky pimping Daredevil #1 for fans and customers of Comics Conspiracy. So Chip made these videos. He reached out to people online and said, hey, I'm going to do these videos. If you own a comic store, I'm going to make a video promoting Daredevil. He got a lot of replies very quickly, and it was like, oh, that was a mistake. So I've known, I'm not like friends with Chip, but I've known him. I met him at ISOP, and I bought some of his old comics, and we've talked. We've been in various message boards through the Warren Ellis Forum and stuff through the years. I mean,
message boards. That's aging you.
It is, yeah. Well, they just did the Image Twitter account just did like a small, not a documentary, like a article about the Warren Ellis Forum, which is like almost 20 years old at this point, or maybe just turned 20 years old. And going back to the Warren Ellis Forum, or sorry, the Wildstorm Forum prior to that, which is part of the DC group. So anyway, very, very funny Canadian Chip Zdarsky telling you why you should buy Daredevil #1 from us. And I do agree. I'm really looking forward to his run. He's a really good writer. We were just talking, Kevin, before recording about Marvel 2-in-1.
Yep.
Fantastic book.
Ending,
of course.
A 12-issue series, as it turns out.
Sure,
but yeah,
sure.
I loved it.
Yeah.
And that's Zdarsky, and he did...
He did the more recent Howard the Duck
yes,
series.
Howard the Duck.
Yes.
He did the Jughead book for Archie.
Artist on
ago.
Sex Criminals.
Yep. He does the art on Sex Criminals. I don't know what I have to assume that's over at this point. I don't think.
You haven't asked him?
No, I don't think they're doing more. I have to
Maybe
assume
you need to get on
Sex
one of those
Criminals is over.
message boards and ask him.
But if you want to see the entire video, you should go to our YouTube page at youtube.com/Comics Conspiracy. youtube.com/Comics Conspiracy. That's right. Or a Facebook group. We put it up there as well.
It's also on your Twitter feed.
It's really funny. I mean, it's intentionally poorly made. It's great. Chip's such a funny guy. But yeah, if you like Daredevil,
I like how he calls you out as being a DC centric store.
That's the joke.
Yep.
That's definitely one of the funnier parts of the podcast of the video. And this is not just for me. He made like 55 of these. You have to go on his on his Twitter page and track down all the other ones he did. They are hilarious. Some are a little bit more straight, but not really. Some are really over the top. There's one where he starts like undressing in the middle of it. It's like it is so funny.
That was obviously number 48.
Yeah. He gets like delirious at one point. He's like, "I've been doing this all day," and he's like, They are very, very funny.
So is Daredevil still alive?
What? He's got a 5-issue. They just killed him. He's got a 5-issue miniseries and then a new ongoing series. I'm gonna guess he'll be around in some fashion for that. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I haven't read the quote unquote death of Daredevil.
I'm like maybe 2 story arcs behind. I'm around issue like 600 when they did the renumbering. So I haven't read that, and now they're going to this Man of Steel. Man of Steel. There we go. Man Without Fear. It's a man.
DC centric.
5-issue miniseries.
Automatically goes to Man of Steel.
And then Man. And then back to Daredevil #1. So
when's FOC on Daredevil 1? Soon?
Couple weeks. Yeah, it's coming out. I think February, if I'm not mistaken. So I've still got some time. But Daredevil.
Place your order with us, Comics Conspiracy, or your local shop.
And go tell Chip you bought it from us if you get a copy from us. But maybe Daredevil will be part of this as well. We're going to talk about the end of the Marvel Universe as you know it.
Didn't they put out a one for Daredevil also?
I don't think so. I have 4
This
here.
one I saw one.
They're ending the Marvel Universe?
Didn't they have like a why he crossed the road or something like that?
What? To get to the other side. I mean, is that? I only see 4 here. I see 4 here.
Okay.
Today they released 4, maybe 5. 4 Marvel History Will Be Destroyed promotional images. And let me read these for you here.
Hey, Kevin, could you roll your eyes some more, please?
Yeah, hold on. Good radio. Hold on.
So the four tags we have here are who really gave the Fantastic Four their powers.
The Fantastic Four.
The Fantastic Four.
What? There's two thes in it.
Well, it's the logo. The logo says the in it. So who gave the Fantastic Four? It's funny. I didn't catch that. Who found Captain America on ice before the Avengers?
And did nothing about it,
Apparently.
Yeah, okay.
Who saved Jean Grey from Dark Phoenix? Which I don't know how that works. And then one I know, Kevin, you wanted to talk about specifically. Who brought the Amazing Spider-Man back after Spider-Man No More? So we'll get into the kind of.
What's the level of excitement at the table right now?
Well, we don't know what this is. These are just 4 promotional images that Marvel sent out. But these are all fairly instrumental moments of these characters' history. Daredevil being frozen on ice, and
Captain
Daredevil
America.
being frozen on ice.
Sorry, I was looking at
Charlie.
I was thinking at Charlie. I was thinking Daredevil again. Now, why did Daredevil cross the road? All right, we'll figure that one out eventually. Why is Captain
Because he was
America
on foot.
on ice? Because he falls into the ice after
it.
World War II. Is it? Is that something fake that Bleeding Cool made? I don't
Maybe.
think. Yeah, I don't think that's right. I mean,
It's got a March.
why did Daredevil? Oh, is this like why did?
So for the listeners, Ryan is looking at something on Charlie's phone right now. And if you're wondering,
That's not Marvel Puzzle Quest, amazingly.
Well, I was on there before we got on this topic, and then I had to.
sorry to interrupt.
This is a Jude Terror article, so I'm pretty sure it's fake. I'm like 98% sure it's fake. I think the joke there is why was Matt Murdock crossing the street and get hit by the truck? So, but
He was walking with his father.
I believe that is
Well,
actually a
although
joke.
that is not that's not much further than the real ones.
Right. So Cap being on ice, and because discovered by the Avengers, I mean that's a major part of this character's history. Jean Grey becoming the Phoenix, and then her resurrection again, big. Now the Spider-Man one, Spider-Man No More. I even for a second was like, are they talking about just when he quit being Spider-Man?
Yeah.
And that's
the famous cover. It just shows Peter Parker walking away with his back to the cover and the Spider-Man costumes in a garbage can.
Yeah,
Right.
He's in an alley, walking
Yeah.
out of the alley.
so.
And then he decides to be Spider-Man again. Spoiler alert.
So if in the FF1, obviously, them getting their powers in space. Now, if Marvel's like, oh, something gave them their powers in space, okay, sure.
Dr. Manhattan?
Someone helping Jean Grey come back, again, okay. Is this really something we need to explore or expand on? But sure, I can see maybe a story they want to explore. The Spider-Man one, I don't.
That's a character choice.
Yeah,
and that's a really good story.
There's not this isn't this cosmic event that caused him to take up the mantle of Spider-Man again. It's personal stuff. So
That's okay. All the answers are just going to be Stan Lee.
well, multiple people, including you may have even mentioned it earlier, Chris, about the Beyonder.
Yeah.
Someone else. I saw a few people online being like, "Oh, did you say it too?"
Yeah.
Maybe you guys were both talking about it. But I saw people mention this online as well. That is this kind of the lead into the next big Marvel event? Right? Could this be the next Secret Wars? But I just don't.
Please no. We don't need another Secret War.
What these are weird. These are weird questions.
Well, I posted a picture on the Facebook group of the Beyonder from Secret Wars 2, I think. And I think one of the commenters thought it was Elvis because he's wearing that suit.
Yeah.
But Charlie made a joke about, I think, but other than the Phoenix one, of those ones you read, the answer would be Stan Lee for all of the others.
Right.
But I don't think it's just like a Stan Lee homage,
Not.
this event.
Yeah, I don't.
No, I don't. I don't think they would go to that level.
I have to assume these will be 4 out of continuity, nothing one-shots written by creators you've never heard of that will sell 15,000 copies each. I don't think something about this just doesn't seem to be.
There, it'll be 20,000.
Because we've seen a lot of rumors about what's his name?
What is it?
I mean, we know Claremont was doing a little bit of new X-Men stuff, including so I could see them doing Claremont for the Phoenix one. I could see them kind of doing we're going to reach out to old creators to do these one-shots. So it's not necessarily no names, but people who have not been very active recently.
Well, Avengers would be Kirby and Stan Lee, who are both dead. Spider-Man would be Kirby
I'm not saying
and
the original. I'm not saying the original
and,
creators. I'm just saying people who are known for writing Spider-Man who haven't written it recently.
This pitch feels like big, major, reality-altering crisis event. I have to assume these will actually just be little nothing, and Marvel is just trying to do some PR stuff.
Because what Charlie just described is the DC retroactive, which was not a good experiment.
No, I wanted to like those.
I did too. I was so ready.
They were just so bad.
It was funny because the some of them were good. Like you got the Green Lantern Green Arrow reprint of that first issue where they're together, right? Like you got the reprint. So if you never read that issue, you got a reprint of that issue.
Yeah, that reprint's not the problem.
I know that's not the problem.
Yeah.
But so Ryan, you don't think this is a blow up the Marvel universe and start from scratch?
No. It just doesn't feel like it. Marvel's done this before, where they have these like, this is gonna be a thing, and then it's just some random miniseries.
Generations?
That's nothing. Sure, right, exactly like Generations. It's just the thing that's nothing, and I have to assume that's what this will be.
Because they do things that are nothing and renumber, like things that are nothing and renumber.
But I mean, hopefully they're learning from their mistakes because they have been doing better recently.
Well, and we have no reason to believe this will be anything special. There's been no hint of this is the next major event. This is just something Marvel put out there, and we're all speculating. But again, they've done this before, where they put out these very vague things, and they become
what ifs.
Nothing. Or sure, right?
Yeah,
right.
but now
these could totally be what ifs, right?
Right now, these aren't. Marvel has put out teasers for something they're doing. We're all speculating it's going to be bigger and such, but that has nothing to do with Marvel PR at this point.
Right.
This is kind of what I've talked about in the past. Like, if PR stays out of it and we jump to conclusions, that's on us. When Marvel comes out with the PR machine saying this is going to be where it all gets better, and then it doesn't, it's annoying.
Yeah. So I don't know what they're going to do going forward here, but I'm sure when they announce this officially, we'll have plenty of stuff to talk about.
As it is now, it's the hint of the evergreen storytelling technique in comics called everything you thought you knew was a lie.
Yeah.
And I'm not crapping on that as a technique, because Alan Moore did it twice in two of my favorite comics, Swamp Thing and Miracle Man. But when it starts saying who really gave the Fantastic Four their powers and who made Spider-Man put the costume back on,
slightly different.
That I'm getting my spider sense is tingling, but this may turn out to be nothing or it may turn out to be awesome.
I have to throw Toby under the bus here for a second. He sends me this video.
You're doing it so easily.
He sends me this video the other day, and I look at it and I'm like, "What is? It's some absolute bullshit nerd site with 25 million followers that I've never heard of. So a standard internet thing, right?" And he links me to this video, and this video is like, there's a popular fan theory that everything you know about Batman is wrong, and that the true Batman's first true villain that he's never. Did you see? Did he send this to you?
Jim sent it to me.
So his first. You, I hate the fact that I'm repeating this, so now other people will know this,
or they'll go looking for it.
We have to talk about it because of just how monumentally fucking. I so want to use a word I can't use anymore. So fucking stupid this is that I have to talk about it. That Batman's very first villain, the person that killed his parents, was Alfred. Because Alfred was having an affair with Bruce's mom. What? Who? Why? Well, who would ever?
All I'm hearing out of your mouth right now is like some flat Earth bullshit.
But see, what I don't understand.
Does this come from something?
It's just fan fiction,
right?
Like, why is this even being repeated? You can find fan fiction all over the internet.
Right. But I'm like, a popular fan theory, and I'm like,
yeah, it's one guy.
But I'm like, does this?
What Earth is this on?
Was there a book where this is hinted at? Was there a story that this come? No, it's just. Wouldn't this be interesting? And first of all, no, fuck you. It wouldn't be interesting. That's the worst idea I've ever heard in my entire life.
But what if it was an Elseworld?
Sure, that's fine. It could be an Elseworld.
Like Planet 750 billion.
Yeah, it could be the Flashpoint world or whatever. But, like, no. Don't. And no, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Hey, what's wrong with knocking boots with, the help? It's
a monumentally stupid idea that I have to pray would never actually be a thing, but why would you make this video? Why would you watch this video? Why would you spend 5 minutes on a podcast talking about this video? That's the real question. But what a terrible video. Who is this person that made this? Kick them off the internet.
You do realize it says, like, it has who it's by.
I'm not going to fucking ever go back to that site again. I think I actually I think I, like, muted that site after Toby had sent me the link because I'm like, I never want to see another video from these people again.
I just wanted to find out you muted Toby.
I will say one good thing about it, about Jim sending that to me, is it inspired me to reread the Neil Gaiman Whatever Happened to the Caped Crusader.
That's a weird book.
But it has that one story, that Alfred-centric story that I really like, and I love Neil
Gaiman. I don't get that story, that book.
Yeah, that one was a bit awkward.
I didn't get it.
Okay, but
do you understand?
Yeah, like, I understand what you're saying.
I didn't understand what they were trying to do.
What I did like is that it gives these different versions of the death of Batman.
Yeah.
And the one story that is Alfred-centric, for those who haven't read it, I won't spoil the whole thing, but the whole premise is that Alfred is responsible for the Rogues Gallery to bring Bruce out of his depression and give him like a mission and something to do. So it's Alfred's theatrical friends dress up as the Riddler and the Penguin and commit these harmless crimes to give Batman something to do. It's not canon. It's not even a full issue.
Yeah.
But it's a wonderful, to me, little story that seeing this video inspired me to go reread.
Well, it shows you. It shows you how much Alfred cares for Bruce. Like, that's what lengths he'll go
weird
through.
Way.
Well, it's what will Alfred go through for Bruce to help Bruce out. So it's kind of that father-son relationship that you see there. So
it's a terrible video. Don't go find this video. It's the worst.
Well, you've given it some good publicity.
It's the worst video.
Dude, they're going to get like 5,000 more.
Let's talk about some actual comic books that matter.
Oh, we're actually talking comics now?
Let's talk about comic books that matter. Comic books that shipped in November of 2018.
Ooh, segue into the sales charts.
We have comic books that shipped in November 2018.
How many times are you going to F up like a...
It's still, I'm so tired. I'm so tired.
Good night for a double.
Oh, my God. I'm so tired. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Folks, the next episode you hear should be really good.
No, the reason why Ryan is so tired today is there was 4 long boxes of sub books to put away.
4.5. Ton of shit.
Well, hold on.
And I was playing Smash Brothers and recording Geekbox last night and watching the second part of the crossover, which we'll talk about in a few minutes.
Which the other half box was Batman Damned number 2.
Yeah. Comic books. They shipped in the month of November 2018. There were
every month.
There was more than 10 of them, but I would only like the top 10, please.
Batman.
Of course, Batman. Batman number 5 and Batman number 6. Sorry, they are the number 5 and number 6 books. Number 58 and 59 at 94,000 and 93,000. So pretty close to each other.
Something with X in the title.
There's at least one. Uncanny X-Men number 1 at $7.99 an issue. Was the number 1 book of the month at 176,000 copies. Now let's do this.
We're doing math, people.
Uncanny X-Men is weekly, So to give you an idea, and usually we don't talk issues 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because they tend to not be on the top 10 sales chart, right? And I do kind of check it occasionally. But on a weekly book, you can have a much more immediate knowledge of where these books ended up. So number 1 was 176,000 at the number 1 book. Number 2 was the 15th book at 62,000. And number 3 was the 17th book at 58,000. So you can kind of tell that, again, even to this day, the X-Men are just not that top 10 book anymore. It's real weird.
But as we've talked about, number 1 numbers get skewed so greatly by variant covers, local comic shop day exclusive covers.
I understand.
Yeah, but it's still a third of what it.
But we have 7 of the top 10 books are not issue number 1s, right?
Yeah.
So, like, the X-Men, for whatever magic the X-Men had, it's just not there anymore.
I don't know. I still think coming in at number 15 and 16 is a very respectable spot for a non-number 1 with a billion variant covers.
But, again, you have
only 10 books can go in the top 10, and at this point, half of them will be Batman most of the time.
Okay, well, I'm going to spoil one of these books. Venom is the number 10 book at 74,000 copies. Venom.
Yeah.
And no, the Venom book is good, right? It's popular.
Well, wait.
Don't get me wrong.
No,
But we're talking...
No, that Venom book is... That's the weird one because that was the issue that had the way better... Uncanny X-Men variant cover to it, right?
Was Venom 8 the one with the Jessica Campbell Uncanny X-Men cover?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it was. Well, anyway, I'm just saying, those X-Men numbers, good. Not great. What else we got?
Green Lantern.
Green Lantern number 1 is the number 2 book at 113,000 copies.
This is like playing Family Feud. You should have a bell sound when somebody guesses a right answer.
Oh, yeah, they get it right. And
we can't give a bell sound for Batman because that's pretty much given.
People hate expensive comic books, and just to give you an idea, the top 3 books are $4.99, $4.99, and $7.99. So it works, guys. I'm really sorry. Well, let's see. I give you number 10. That's Venom. We're missing number 9. It's an anniversary book. It had a shitload of covers, but you would not know that by this number, by only being the number 9 book. Avengers number 10, or Avengers 700, if you will, was $5.99, 77,000 copies. Now, look, those are poor numbers for Avengers number 10. There's just no other way to say it. It had a lot of covers. A lot. That sheen is off those variants at Marvel. Certain ones, sometimes, yes, and absolutely, like look at Uncanny X-Men, huge numbers, right? For just another random issue of Avengers that they kind of just throw a 700 label on and they put like 15 covers out, that's a pretty poor number. And I'm seeing this in store as well. We sell a lot of variant covers, but it is like special order only for a lot of them. I'm not stocking a lot of the Marvel variants on the shelf because we're just not moving them past special orders. DC are a little bit different. They're kind of hitting a different market. Marvel just has so many. In Image, a company that went from absolutely 0 variants to a shocking amount of variants, it's kind of the same. There's not, like, I think there's just a bit of an oversaturation on them.
Image variants are open order, though.
Mostly.
Most of them are
almost
open
all
order.
of them.
Like, I know Rose is like, it has like 3 every single issue, but they have the actual covers at... When it's solicited in previews.
I love variant covers, and I love the open order covers because it really does add numbers. I mean, these books without variants would be much lower. Let's just put it at that, right? But it really does show a really strong cover can skewer those numbers, and we'll get to one of those in a few minutes. Can really skew those numbers so hardly in a direction and then just crashes back down. So clearly, you want strong stories to maintain these numbers on the books, but variants are still such a major part of the industry.
Was it Justice League Drowned Earth?
Nope. Justice League did not make the top 10. 11 and 12 were the 11th and 13th book. Number 9, that was Avengers. Number 8, to me, feels like it should be much higher on the charts. I don't quite get it.
Spider-Man?
Nope. It's a DC title. It's basically the big event going on right now.
Tuesday Clock.
The other big event going on right now.
Heroes in Crisis.
The big event that came out in November. Heroes in Crisis, number 3 is the number 8 book at 83,000 copies. That feels shockingly low for Heroes in Crisis.
I like Heroes in Crisis. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm not shocked that it's that low. It doesn't read like a mass appeal comic.
Yeah.
It reads like a niche comic, and that's not a criticism. It's just not a big kind of superhero story that you could recommend to just anyone who likes those characters.
I even have a hard time calling it a big event. Like I do agree Doomsday Clock and that stuff is a big event, but this is...
But is it? Doomsday Clock's its own thing. It has no crossovers. This actually has crossovers. It's the only thing, right? I mean, Marvel is Infinity Wars, but that's about it.
Well,
I always compare Heroes in Crisis to Identity Crisis, and don't get me wrong, Identity Crisis was a big book.
Sold four times this amount.
But it also felt very self-contained at the time it was being published. Yep. Like, it didn't necessarily feel like it was this is going to change everything. It was just a very, very good mystery sort of story at the time, and then we saw some fallout after you got to the final issue.
Yeah.
Well, Heroes in Crisis seems to me, especially how it's being written, it's that first issue grabs you, but then the second issue and the third issue, you're kind of like, okay, like it's more of something that
just kind of waiting to see where it goes.
Yeah, like I to me, I think it's people's interest is it's like they want to read it, but they're really like, yeah, I'll just wait for a few issues to come out and then I'll buy it, or I'll wait for the trade on it because of how it reads. I enjoy reading. I reread that thing like 4 times each time because it's just so good, and you pick up stuff that you missed along the way. But yeah, Tom King's writing is definitely, I think with Batman's schedule being every 2 weeks, like you get enough and it moves and stuff like that. With Heroes in Crisis, there's such a delay that you don't have that that I need it now feeling.
Well, the number 7 book and the number 4 book are the same book, and one of you mentioned it earlier. I think it was Charlie.
It's on Marvel Puzzle.
It's a character from Marvel that Charlie's probably grinding for in Marvel Puzzle Quest right now. That'd be Amazing Spider-Man. Now, here's where variant cover can really do some damage. Amazing Spider-Man number 9 is the number 7 book at 85,000 copies. Number 10 is the number 4 book at 103,000 copies. Where'd those 20,000 copies come from? A Meteor Exceed J. Scott Campbell variant cover with Black Cat on the cover. So that's 20,000 copies in Marvel's pocket because they got Campbell to do a Meteor Exceed cover, meaning we had to match our orders from number 10 for a previous issue, and then we could order all we wanted of the J. Scott Campbell cover. Well, of course, that's going to be the preferred cover. It'd be crazy to not order it. So we ordered quite a few. We ordered our regular amount of Spider-Man plus a huge stack of the Campbell cover, and fortunately sold plenty of copies of the Campbell cover to more than make up for the extra copies we have of the regular cover.
Got like 7.
A couple of people did. But, I mean, it's a Black Cat story. I'm not ever concerned about this not selling.
It's a good story, too.
We'll sell them eventually.
It's like the art germ covers that are sitting on the shelf.
Yeah,
you'll sell them.
They'll move eventually.
What's the price tag on that Campbell cover?
$3.99.
Oh,
green cover sitting right up there behind you. Yep.
No, I really like the way that story resolved.
Yep.
Is it a one and done story, or is it?
It was a 2-parter. I think it was 2-parter, maybe 3-parter, but it was. The resolution did a very good job of explaining all the turns they've done with Black Cat for a while now.
She's been all over the place.
Beyonder?
No. But I don't want to spoil it for somebody who hasn't read it, but it was a very good, well thought out explanation. I liked it.
And the number 3 book is a book that no one at this table will guess. I mean, it's a Marvel comic, but you'll just never guess what it is.
Don't guess. For November?
Infinity Warp.
No, definitely not.
Hulk. Immortal Hulk. Or what's it called?
I actually like the Immortal Hulk.
Infinity Warp's number 1, 25,000 copies at 79, higher than it's above Marvel 2-in-1. That's embarrassing. That is fucking embarrassing. Infinity Warps, get out of here.
If it was written by Chip
Zdarsky. Terrible. It is Web of Venom, Carnage Born one-shot. The number 3 book at 104,000 copies. That man, people love Carnage. We sold a lot of these. A lot. It had some really cool variants, and it's just it's part of that Venom hype that's going on right now. There's a lot of heat on the Venom comic, but this was like, Venom is like, everyone's secret favorite 90s character is Carnage. People love Carnage. So,
it's like Venom is the new Deadpool.
You're not far off. Venom has very specific fans, and more power. Venom, Spawn going up at the same time for us, not a coincidence. It's those people are now coming back in. They're adults with money, hopefully. That group is coming back, and that's totally what's going on.
They're coming in with their kids, and they don't give a shit.
So before I read anything, we'll talk about the sales charts here. I do want to read the intro here. This is Comichron.com and the monthly sales charts for November. Great website. You guys are always going to do this. I don't usually try to poach their actual John Jackson Miller guy that runs it. I talk to him pretty regularly on Twitter, and I actually let him know about that Amazing Spider-Man 10 Campbell. He updated it to put that on there and then put it on his video as well. So that was cool. But I'm gonna quote him here. The direct market's momentum begin in spring hit a bump in November due in part to significantly smaller slates from comic publishers, already at a disadvantage against February 2017, which had one more shipping week. So there was only 4 shipping weeks in November, versus November 2017, which had 5. So generally less comics coming out. November 2018 saw 121 fewer comics released, a drop of 22% in the smallest new comic slate since April 2016, which is before Rebirth. Fewer comics published in November 2018 than any month since April 2016. Marvel had 79 new comics. It was the lowest number of new comics since October 2015. DC had 67 new comics, which were down from 95 new comics back in November 2017. And, of course, what was the big book November 2017? Doomsday Clock number 1. All right. So we're good-looking year-to-year comparisons don't always work because when you have just a significant different approach from the industry, the numbers are just not going to match, right? There's just no way. But despite this, Marvel was actually up 3%, and a lot of that had to do with Uncanny X-Men number 1 being $8, right? I mean that really brought in a lot of cash for them. So DC's number versus 2018 or versus 2017 was down pretty significantly, but again, that was to be expected. Year to year, 2018 versus 2017, unless something tanks in December and nobody realizes it, we will be within about 1% either way of 2017 numbers. So we'll either be down about 1% or up 1%, or even it could be completely flat, which to me I think is, again, great. We've had a couple years of growth. 2017 was a year of decline, and now 2018 has been solid with that. We're not losing 20-30% a year and just this industry just collapsing upon itself.
I thought the industry was over. I think comic books were doomed.
Again, and I really do want to reiterate this point that the math does not add up to this. You're going to get ebbs and flows as industries go. No industry is up forever and never ends, right? It just doesn't happen, right? If you look at the numbers of comics from the 60s, the 50s, the 40s, I mean, there was less stuff, but they sold more, but they sold in different ways. It's not comparable. You can't compare comic sales today to comic sales in the 60s. It's a different market entirely.
Well,
so
comic books were hitting more locations.
You can match units, but then you lose out on the dollar amount, right? I mean, the dollars now blow those old numbers away, but the unit sales are more. But it's at a returnable rate to a newsstand distribution, whereas these are non-returnable. So there are some. I wish I had the article in front of me. People found some return strips where they're like, "Oh, this book may have sold 1 million copies, but they returned 800,000 of them, so it didn't actually sell 1 million. That's just what was shipped out." All right, and now that's just how these things were made because the profit margin on paper material was so high they could sell these things for 12 cents, 15 cents, and it's like you're making money hand over fist. So let me get to...
Now we're moving towards a $4.99 comic.
I'm telling you, man. I've been saying it for a few months.
2020, baby. $4.99.
That is my...
Calling it.
That is my guess. By the end of 2020, every Marvel book would be $4.99. That is my guess.
DC will hold the line at $3.99 for another few years.
They can hold it for a year or two, yeah. I mean, it'll be up to Image and IDW. Image and IDW, if they pop the $4.99, then it's guaranteed. If they stay at $3.99, we could see actually most companies stick around. I think if Image and IDW again, they get their printing's in China, so if that number starts, especially with
the tariffs,
and everything, if that number starts going up, if IDW is like fuck Canada, who knows what's going on? All the printing's done in Canada.
Well, hopefully they can get somebody a different kind of printing like for their covers because their covers do something weird to boards and bags.
IDW, yeah. So let's go to the top 300 comics and graphic novels. It was $31.36 million, which is down 11% versus same month last year. But again,
gotta love those doomsday clock numbers.
Yeah, we're definitely up considerably over years prior to that. Let me get to the top numbers here. Overall, let me get to the top 300 market. Sorry, units in the top 300. Marvel had 46.75%, and DC had 32.17%. This is number of units in the top 300. Image at 7.76%. IDW at 3.28%. Dark Horse at 2.31%, and down. And again, Marvel just shy of that 50% mark on the dollar share. Marvel had a very, very good November. So it's all pretty expected. But yeah, 79 books for Marvel. Fuck. There are months this year where Marvel released like 120 new titles. 79 is very small. DC released 40 new graphic novels this month. And hey, if they didn't cancel after a line, they would have released more. What do you know? You guys hear me bitch about all the trades DC's canceling these days? It's ridiculous.
Trades, T-shirts.
When's that Detective Comics Before Batman coming out?
Are you seriously asking?
No.
Okay, yeah. It's not. You suck, DC. What are you doing? Let's move on. Let's move on to some other stuff. We've got some movie and movie-ish related material to talk about here.
Movie stuff.
Now, Chris, I know you said you did not see the Avengers trailer.
Correct.
Are you pulling a Bryce, just no trailer, or?
I was trying to pull the U of like
the one trailer.
I wanted them to show the one trailer and have it be exactly the previous movie.
Yes.
I'd be like, all right, now we're good, and then like show up in 8 months. So I'm mentally simulating that.
Okay, you did not watch the trailer though.
Correct.
Okay, do you care if we talk about the trailer?
Go for it.
Okay, there's nothing to say about the trailer because they don't show anything. They show one thing. Show one thing.
The best thing about that trailer is Ant-Man, okay?
Oh, obviously. Of course the best thing about the MCU is Ant-Man. It's not even a question.
That's true.
Avengers trailer. We do get to see one cool thing, and that was a heavily rumored. There were some leaked behind-the-scenes shots that a Hawkeye does appear to be taking on his Ronin persona in this, which is from Bendis' new Avengers.
Yeah, thanks for that bump in that first appearance.
Yeah.
It's
we got
now a wall book.
Yep, of course.
It's Avengers 7 and Avengers 27.
But I think 11 is the first appearance when it's I forget her name, Maya something.
Yeah.
And then Hawkeye takes over later. Yeah, New Avengers 27.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts on the trailer, because it was like, this is cool, but I mean, you don't get anything.
I mean,
it's just a very character-driven trailer, which is fine. As we've already talked about, we don't want them to really give away anything.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it establishes. I think it does a good job in establishing where these characters are after the Snap event. Right, like where they are, what's going through their heads, like all that stuff. It does a great job just kind of reintroducing you to, hey, who survived?
Yeah.
But I think overall it was really well done in the sense that it didn't really give anything away. Like,
it didn't give anything away, which is great.
I did really enjoy the Scarecrow Thanos nod in the trailer, so I thought that was really cool.
Yes, direct from Infinity War and the very talented Infinity Gauntlet.
But yeah, I mean, best part of the trailer is Ant-Man, hands down.
I'm still, it was good, and I'm glad it didn't. I still wish they had just had no trailer.
Right, me too.
Because what I will say about Endgame, yes,
Avengers Endgame.
Since Iron Man 1, this is the only Marvel movie where I've had literally no idea what it would be like.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't want a trailer.
Yeah.
Like all the others, you could figure out what basically what you're going to get. Once you got into the groove of Marvel Studios, you kind of know what you're going to get as you walk in. But this one, does it pick up 30 seconds after the last movie? Do they jump forward a year? Is it 5 years later? Is it how many characters are going to be? Like, you have no idea what this is going to be like. Yeah. Are they going to fight Thanos again? Or is it just going to be Captain Marvel? Or, I mean, I'm just rambling questions here because there's so many unknowns.
Right.
And I'm glad the trailer didn't answer really any of those.
Well, we still have Captain Marvel's movie that's coming out, which is going to give us something because, I mean, the end of Infinity War gave us the interstellar pager.
Yeah.
So we have to know what we're going to get, something from that movie that's going to add to this.
Yeah, she can.
Well,
she could be standing
just
on
her backstory. So when they bring her into the next Avengers movie, people aren't going, "Who's that?"
I tweeted or put this on the Facebook group or something. I remember where I said it, but I was like, man, if they have Captain Marvel come in and save the day for everyone at the end of the movie, like these comic gate assholes and people are just going to fucking riot in the streets. And I'm like, there's a very good chance, right? And I think there's a very good possibility that she is sort of she's the one that takes down Thanos, right? I mean, there's a reason her movie's coming out right prior to it. But yeah, I have no clue, and I don't want to know. And I have no reason to watch any more trailers at this point. I mean, and they moved it forward, right? It's coming out the last week of April.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's like 5 months.
Yeah, we're 4 months and change away from it. So and
we're getting Captain Marvel in March.
I did it with and
I bet you there will be a double feature on release
with
day.
both. Charlie, you gonna do the marathon of all MCU movies straight?
Do it, Charlie.
You know, I have been at my new job long enough. I probably could swing it this
You're
time.
like, I'll be back in 48 hours. God, probably more than that, wouldn't it?
No, it's
all of them.
How many movies?
19,
Yeah,
20,
19 or 20.
Oh yeah, it'd be 2 days.
It'd be
2 days.
It'd be a solid 2 days.
Yeah, solid 2 days.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Like catheter inserted.
No, I mean it's the general
crap bag.
Even if I was there to watch the movies, I'd end up sleeping through some amount of them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. And wouldn't
Iron
you
Man 3.
I was gonna say, here comes Iron Man 3. Exactly.
No, wouldn't you
sleep?
You have in and out privileges with that ticket, so you could just go home for a couple of movies and go back. You don't have to take a catheter.
Yeah, but what if it's the best part? And you're like, sleep. Winter Soldier's on. I'm so tired. I really should. I wonder if I could actually make it through all of them before the movie comes out. Like start it up like in January.
You mean at
or
home?
something. Yeah. Like every other week or every week watch a couple.
Yeah, you could do it.
You'd have to do basically 2 a week.
2 a week.
I just have to borrow a couple because I didn't buy a couple.
Let me do some math on
So
that.
there's 20 movies and we have 4 months.
I think it's 20, right? Wouldn't Avengers be number 20? Is it number 21, 19? It's something like that.
Okay,
Well,
so
3 Thor,
let's say you basically have
3
17
Iron Man.
Do this in your head, please.
17 weeks before Endgame comes out,
Yeah.
roughly.
Yeah.
20 movies, let's just say 20. It might be 19, but let's just round it up. So some weeks you could just watch one, but in
Right.
some points you're going to have to double up.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
days-wise, you have plenty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No. That's what I'm saying. Like, would I have the time to watch all these movies?
Are there enough Thursdays in between?
That's
now
what.
and then?
Yeah.
Is what
On my
we're
days
basically
off, can I find 2 hours here?
You
and
have
there?
17 Thursdays.
I'll get to it. I should rewatch them all before Avengers Endgame. That's a good plan. I'll see if I can do it.
Does that include Incredible Hulk?
Yeah, I don't hate Hulk. It's pretty low on my list, but I don't hate it at all.
I loved it when it came out, especially having that movie come out right after Iron Man, basically that summer. I was super happy with both of those. Like I admit Iron Man was the superior of the two, but that Hulk movie was really good for sort of the time.
I may have only ever watched that once. I'm trying to think because
Damn it, Ryan!
Everything. I mean, but Black Panther, Ant-Man and Wasp, I haven't seen twice. I only saw the one. I only saw him in the theater. I just saw him the once. But I'm pretty sure I've rewatched everything else multiple times. I mean, I've had him on here at the store before, so like just kind of in and out, or watch him on TV, or watch him at home, or watch him in the theater multiple times. But that may be the only one I've seen once, other than like the real
I think
original
I
one.
just need to borrow Iron Man 3 and Thor Ragnarok.
Do I own Iron Man 3? I might not even own Iron Man 3. I'll try to figure it out.
I'm pretty sure I own Iron Man 3, but I'm pretty sure I had to buy all the Iron Man movies again to get Iron Man 3 cheap enough.
So we'll...
Bryce, I need you here.
We'll get...
There's no saving Iron Man 3.
I like Iron Man 3. I will defend it any day on this show to any comers. Bring it. It's
like watching,
the only criticism I've ever heard of it is
watching Custer's
how could they do that to the Mandarin? And I'm like, it's the Mandarin. They didn't do it to Dr. Doom. I mean, are you going to be precious? You think they're going to do...
We're going to finish this podcast, okay? We can't go on about Iron Man 3.
Do you think they're going to do the Mandarin from the comic books in 15 in a live-action movie? No way. No way.
I had no problem with what they did with sort of changing the ethnicity and all that. I just had a problem with the fact that it had no resemblance to the Mandarin whatsoever.
And I think everybody's problems would have been solved if at the end, the stinger at the end was the real Mandarin seeing a news story about this buffoon and going from there.
Extras where they
one of
did
the
that?
extras is when they
one of the future movies they did
in the theatrical version.
There's nothing that really could save that movie.
Okay, we'll just leave it there.
But
I think Mandarin is my favorite Iron Man villain, so I was upset that I didn't get a proper Mandarin in the movies.
I do think that Endgame is going to make Iron Man 3 relevant because of Pepper Potts' involvement in the movie. Because of the picture she tweeted out of her in the suit.
A lot of people assume she's going to show up as Rescue in the movie
because there was that huge tease in 3 for her.
Yeah, to get the costume.
Yeah.
Semi-related here, talking about the Marvel movies. Doctor Strange director Scott Derrickson will be officially, again, according to the Hollywood Reporter, has signed a deal to write and direct Doctor Strange sequel coming out May 2021. So they had something coming out May 2021. Nobody knew what it was. Now it seems like that's Doctor Strange 2, which I'm good. I like Doctor Strange. Far from my favorite, but I thought Doctor Strange was fun. I want to see it. I want to see them go for it with Doctor Strange, like go crazy, because that's the movie you could do it with. I feel like they were a little reserved at some of it.
It was safe.
It felt a little like Phase 1-ish, right? Like I wanted them to really go crazy with Doctor Strange.
We talked about it before as like
Dr. And Cumberbatch. Right? I mean, I love Cumberbatch. So
Doctor Strange would have been more like people would have been more blown away by that movie if it came out when Iron Man, Cap, Thor. Like if it was the 4th movie in that line,
it would have been huge.
It would have been huge.
Yeah. We'll turn to DC here for a moment. Earlier today,
DC makes movies?
The official reviews dropped for Aquaman. And while not the stunning 99% that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse has right now, I don't like to talk too much about Rotten Tomatoes because it is part of what I think is a bit of a plague on internet fandom conversations. However, it is nice.
Or the 99 or 97% that Bumblebee has.
However, it is nice to see a DC movie sitting comfortably at 75% on Rotten Tomatoes right now, which I know for some people that live in the state of Oregon, it's a very important factor to their movie viewing.
You must totally be calling out that guy Bryce.
See, when you explain the joke,
it becomes funnier.
It's it's even funnier when you explain the joke. Bumblebee at 97% is bonkers because I think that movie looks stupid as shit.
How can you think that movie looks stupid as shit?
I was just waiting.
It's all Generation 1.
Were you stupid?
That's what I was waiting for. Yeah. Thank you. It looks real. I mean, it looks like a kid's movie. It looks like a kid's movie.
It looks like they're actually trying to make a Generation 1 Transformers movie.
Okay.
That's done by the guy that made Kubo.
Cool.
Who admired Spielberg, who's turning Transformers into Spielbergian movie.
Like, I liked Transformers 1, 2 was terrible, 3 was fine, 4 was awful, and I never saw 5.
Well, you're not wrong with any of that stuff except for third is the best one.
And third is it's like funny bad. It's like Venom. The third,
you're extremely funny.
The
bad,
third
right?
is like Venom. So I'm not like a Bay lover. Like I'm not like Michael Bay Transformers are the only way to go about
I
it.
did
It's
not
just
even bring up his name. I'm just saying Bumblebee is a 97%, motherfucker.
what I'm saying is Bumblebee, based on the trailers, looks like a really dumb kids movie.
You're dumb,
and I mean kids movie in an insulting way, not like
very insulting. Right?
Because I love lots of kids movies.
No, you don't. Especially real kids. You hate them.
Well, I hate kids, but I love kids movies, right?
Yeah.
But this looks like a
really sucked as a comic book store owner back when kids actually bought comics.
we get kids.
You should just see him when kids come into the store. Ryan becomes another person. He starts like following the kids around to make sure they don't drop any
any little noise or paper shift. He's like, you dropped something, you
hands
fucker.
and comic books.
Yeah, it's the worst. It's worse. But
hey, Chris, that was a really good Toby impression.
Thanks. Stretch out my muscles there. Vocal muscles.
The
Bumblebee, it looks pretty good.
A couple of the reviews for Aquaman are, it's pretty bad. It's a big overstuffed CG mess. But I mean, isn't that comic book movies, right?
Well, there's bad comic book movies. When they overstuff too many plots into one movie and don't focus on one or two, you start getting the Spider-Man 3 problem. Where you just have way too much to tell, way too much, and you lose the actual quality story of Sandman. Like he disappears, and then he shows up at the end. Like Spider-Man 3, the beginning of that movie is really solid. You're like, yeah, and then for some odd reason, it just once Sandman disappears, that movie shits the bed.
What? Where did that come from?
It's overstuffed CG mess.
Yeah. But like I said, that is kind of the poor reviews. But the better review, the kind of average of the better reviews are that it's just a very fun movie. And
so it's like a better Suicide Squad.
Like Black Panther and Wonder Woman kind of have something to say, something to prove, right? That these movies sort of are a little more important. Aquaman just seems to be a fun movie. So that was my hope. If any movie should be balls crazy, it's Aquaman.
Well, we'll find out in a week?
Very soon. Yeah, very soon.
It does look like it could be over. It looks like they just went all in with every aspect of the Aquaman mythology in one movie.
You have Manta, you have Orm, you have
Volko, you have the throne battle,
the Throne of Atlantis, war. It's like what the fuck?
Well, they also have
the trench.
The trench.
What?
It is a lot.
Yeah.
But if you only get one shot, right?
Well, it seems like they're playing for one shot.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to dump every action figure I have into this one bathtub and make an epic.
That's okay. From what I understand, they're already talking about doing the number 2. So,
well, it is the number 1 Warner Brothers movie of all time in China. It's already in 4 days it outgrossed the next closest.
They already dropped it in China.
It came on China last week. Yeah.
Oh shit.
It already outgrossed the next highest one, is Justice League. Its entire run in China, it did in 4 days. Again, big money in China, so very successful over there. It's going to be one of the most successful superhero movies ever in China, which is really good. So yeah, I'm hopeful. We'll have an episode about it coming out. Should be Christmas Day if all goes according to plan. So you can look for that to hit.
All according to
plan.
Then
we have the Aquaman Jeff Johns omnibus coming out this week too.
Yep. No, what, Charlie? You were.
If you go to sort of the diamondcomics.com and click on the shipping this week list, it's not on there. Or at least it wasn't.
Yeah, you said some people were they thought it wasn't coming out or
people
something.
Were freaking out online in some of the groups that I follow because it vanished from the shipping lists.
Yeah, so it is out this week. I mean, we have copies here. Charlie, one's in your box. There's a copy on the shelf. The Aquaman Jeff Johns omnibus is out this week. So if for some reason people are telling you it's not, it is. 100%.
And it's nice that the hub was correct and told me it was. I just pinged you to make sure. I'm like, Ryan, tell me the hub isn't lying.
Yeah, I need that Absolute Day Tripper ordered.
Yeah, that's getting fixed. Final bit of news here.
I see it on the app. It says canceled, but it's going to be... Yeah, I don't know.
Final bit of... there's some sub-boxes, but yeah. Great. Final bit of news before we wrap up here. Brian K. Vaughan, creator of Saga and Paper Girls and Runaways and a bunch of other comics that everyone loves, has signed a deal with Legendary Television Studios to adapt several of his creator-owned works into television series and film. We have to assume Saga and Paper Girls are on that list, and he is also going to be developing original properties for them. Vaughn he hasn't left comics, but he's
stepped away.
We now probably know why he took a year-long hiatus from Saga, and that was to work on this deal and to probably start the production of working on something like Saga and Paper Girls, early production stuff.
Or he doesn't own Why Last
No, but yeah, why would? I mean, he could with Runaways, he was a consultant on Runaways. So I'm sure with Why he would probably be a consultant on it, but he'll actually have his hands in Paper Girl and Saga when they're going to do some movies or TV shows.
Ding dong.
So, is it the Marvel trade paperback? Marvel has done something weird to the last part of their barcode on a lot of their recent graphic novels. It won't scan with the traditional single red laser barcode scanner.
Well, Ryan, let me correct you. It's not Marvel's fault. It's the stupid fucking hub.
It's actually not the hub. I have let Marvel's VP of Sales, David Gabriel, know this, and he is in the process of looking into it and understands it is affecting many comic stores that use traditional barcode scanners around the country. So, Toby, what you have to do when
it's free, I'll just take
you at home, what you have to tell your comic shop clerk at your local comic shop as they're trying to ring up a Marvel trade is you have to manually type in the barcode starting on the left-hand side underneath the left-hand part of the barcode, including the one number in the middle, and then you have to move up to the 5.
Good fucking God, move on to something
5
interesting.
XXXX. Now, of course, those last 5 digits in a barcode for comic books is the price, 5 being Marvel's standard replacement for 0, because I believe the trade that Toby's buying right now is $39.99, so it would be $53,999.
No, it's $519.99.
Okay, it was $19.99. Okay, so you have to make sure you type in the number that's in between the barcodes as well, because that is part of the barcode. There is a science to barcodes, and
Good God, we just lost all of our listeners.
people don't realize that barcodes are very, very important in the way things function in society. If your barcode does not read properly, it really breaks down the system.
We talked to
fix your
we
barcodes.
talked to Kurt Busiek about this with Astro City, right?
Correct.
Let's have a red printed barcode.
Doesn't work. They did it with I think it was the Fix straight paperback had a red barcode too. Doesn't work. Can't have a red barcode. So for all you aspiring comic book creators out there, get used to buying barcodes. Make sure you don't reuse barcodes. Make sure you have enough space around the barcodes for the barcode reader to read the barcode, and make sure your barcode is not red. Those are your important key factors for having a barcode.
This segment.
If you publish a barcode and you want to be carried in comic book store, if you publish a barcode, if you publish a comic book and you want to be put in comic book stores, you have to have a barcode, because Diamond makes you have a barcode on your comic, and they won't put something out without a barcode.
Were we done with BKV?
I mean, I'm down for a Saga movie or TV show.
I want a Saga
whatever,
TV show.
Paper Girls or whatever. I'm totally down with all that. Yeah.
Paper Girls can be a TV show or a movie.
So,
Piece of shit.
so
Piece of shit.
when you have a PC, what happens occasionally is one
boy.
window can be hidden behind another window. So if you do what I believe is is it Alt Tab?
Oh my God, what is wrong
If you
with the
Alt
podcast?
Tab, you can find all the different windows that are currently active on your PC. And if you shift around to Alt Tab to find the printer when you're listening to Comic Hub, when you're using Comic Hub, you can then print.
I mean,
it'll pop up
fuck
the
it.
print
Are we still
window.
recording?
Yes,
We are still recording.
I don't fuck it. I'm done.
We have another topic.
We do have another topic.
Elseworlds.
Elseworlds, yes. And then we're going to wrap up.
Yes.
So we're going to talk briefly about the first 2 parts of Elseworlds, because part 3 literally is airing as we're recording this. So this is the DC Elseworlds crossover.
And what's the spoiler level here?
we are at the end
Omega.
of the episode. Full spoiler.
I don't actually know what the highest number is, Charlie.
3 is the highest number.
Okay.
Just go straight to Omega. It's the only way to be
All
sure.
right.
Omega.
We are at the end of the episode, so full spoiler. This is for the for the
Arrow, Flash, Supergirl.
Flash Arrow Supergirl crossover.
So just stop the podcast now if you haven't watched them.
Yeah, yeah.
Stop, skip to the outro, because we always have weird shit in that thing.
And my
Been enough
plan,
weird shit so far. You don't even.
my
Yeah, but
plan,
it's the weird shit outro shit.
since we will not be recording another traditional episode till well after this airs, I'm actually going to do a Patreon exclusive part 3 wrap up and talk. Myself, I'm just going to record it Thursday morning, throw it up on the Patreon feed. So
Will it just be a monologue from you about Elseworlds?
yeah, just about the final episode.
Okay.
So and what's coming. So for all our Patreon backers, that'll be up there.
Dude, you need that sound effect.
I didn't hear anything.
I believe it was.
Cool. All right. Well, so if you do want to hear my personal thoughts on the wrap up, look for that on Thursday on Patreon.
Yep, it's just going to be a lot of oh yeah.
But parts 1 and 2, at least we could talk about here, and I'm sure we will also bring it up probably in our end of year episode as well. So, not what I was expecting. I think maybe the best way to describe it. It is not. When I think Elseworlds, I mean, I think, oh, they're going to go like parallel dimensions, and so now I know why Barry and Oliver are why they are each other. One of my complaints earlier was like, he's supposed to say, my name is Oliver Queen and I'm the fastest man alive. Well, it's because they don't actually, they're not in parallel dimensions. There was literally like a Freaky Friday body swap going on between Oliver and Barry in this. So that explains that element of the crossover. I do have one minor question before we get into like some of the cooler parts of the story. So the Monitor, his pitch here is we have to make the heroes stronger. I have to find people that can beat.
It wasn't so much about making them stronger. It was about finding a world with strong enough heroes.
Right, sure. So I'm going to give Dude the Book of Destiny, which, first of all, holy shit, the Book of Destiny.
Okay, I have a question. I know you're about to ask a question. Let me just, because you just opened it.
Yeah.
So I'm way behind. I don't even watch Arrow anymore.
Yeah.
So this is new to me, and I'm way behind on Flash. But I've seen these episodes.
Yep.
2 questions.
Yep.
I assume that's meant to be Dr. Destiny who's getting that book. Because he's Dr. Deegan?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
So has that character been on before?
No.
Okay.
Yes?
What?
He was on Constantine.
Oh, no, I mean,
Not
the
as that
actor.
character.
Okay, 2 is, what is Tom Cavanaugh doing? Like, who is he playing?
So he is Sherlock.
Because that accent is Cockney, and then it's Irish, and then it's almost Italian, and then it's, I'm not sure.
It's supposed to be French.
French?
Yes.
Maybe.
This was Leanne's reply. So do you know his deal? Every season he plays a new variation on himself from a parallel dimension, right?
Yes.
So in this season they're trying to solve, like, they're trying to track down this guy and solve a mystery. So they get the greatest.
They're trying to track down
Wells.
Cicada.
The greatest detective Wells.
Yes.
Okay.
So they
So it's Sherlock.
Yeah.
Not
He's supposed to be
Sherlock,
Sherlock Wells
Sherlock.
is his name, but it's Sherlock is how he pronounces it. But it is not. It is like not a French accent in any way, shape, or form.
No, it maybe some sentences are.
Parallel world means they can do whatever the fuck they want with the accent.
That's their French accent.
Parallel world, Alfred could have killed his parents.
That's the worst. So
Okay, sorry, Ryan, your question.
the
Monitor.
Yes, so the Monitor gives the book to Dude. And Dude goes, I'm going to change the world so I work at Arkham Asylum? Like, is that what he did?
I'm assuming that's where he was already working.
No, because the Monitor, because he's doing that speech. He's like a failed professor or something.
He was giving a lecture, is what it seemed.
But the what does he do? Because the Monitors like think bigger. I'm like, well, what did he do in the first place? I thought he literally did it because he couldn't get a job, and so this got him a job at Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, but in a dingy office.
He talked about how he was trying to use it to bestow the Flash's powers on himself, but and messed up somehow.
Yeah, but it's like I didn't quite get what he did. Like, I feel like they sort of they kind of gloss over that a little bit. Like, am I crazy? Like, did I fall asleep?
As far as I know, all he's done at this point was tried to use the book to change his destiny to get the Flash's powers, failed, and didn't do anything else.
And it just somehow switched those two around.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you see him giving that lecture at the beginning that all those people walk out on.
Yeah.
Then he's in the police database as being somebody who's run these experiments.
Right.
So he's got a police record, but he's employed at Arkham Asylum.
Right. That sounds all right.
Yeah, right. I know. So I'm just.
Okay.
I was thinking, like, am I behind? Is this an established character?
No,
and I'm just.
No.
There are gaps.
Yeah.
Okay. So there are just gaps.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love the explanation of the lightning and the red skies being Flash trying to break through the multiverse to get
that was amazing.
It's a great explanation because the whole pitch of the original Crisis on Infinite Earths is the red skies and nothing comes of it. It's just like, oh, it's the start of Crisis. I love that, and I love too that they're like Jade, and he goes, "No, I'm Barry Allen." Right? I love the fact that they kept him as Barry.
Well, the
Allen,
best
too.
line from that second episode was Barry or.
Right,
like
talking to
90s Flash Barry talking to John, saying, "John, you're not wearing your ring." I was like, "Oh,
yeah." This has been a fan theory going back way early that John Diggle's real last name is Stewart. Right? This is again, like terrible fan theories where people think that Alfred slept with Bruce Wayne's mom and killed the Waynes. Nothing. Okay. What? This is something I'm like, that'd be cool, but they don't really need to do it. Diggle's his own character.
Yeah.
Like, that's totally cool. That said, if they want to give him a Green Lantern ring, go for it. Diggle's in a weird place in Arrow right now. Like, he's working with Argus, and he's just kind of there, and they're not doing a ton with him, so I don't, like, making him a Green Lantern would be fucking incredible. I don't know if that would shoot the production budget on the Arrow show, but
So how did you like the Batwoman?
she was great.
Oh yeah,
She was good.
that was amazing. Actually,
I love that Oliver Queen doesn't think the Batman's real. For some reason, that was really funny to me.
Great.
I'm
the first vigilante.
Yeah, he was all pissed off about it. And Flash was like kind of like super giddy. Like I thought they did a really good job with that. She was good though. The costume looks great. The fighting looks good. I like sort of I kind of wonder if they're experimenting with her fighting style a little bit to kind of like, we want to use this. Like, this is kind of a test for her own show.
Well, I think it's because Arrow
it was different. It was different than Arrow.
Arrow has
its
own
Flash.
distinct fighting style in it, and so having a similar character in Batwoman, you're going to have to change it up, to make it different.
Yeah,
but no, I thought it was really well done.
yeah.
The World's Finest line was great.
that was good. Lois.
I was a little surprised they seemed to be done with her already, though.
Well, they are. Yeah, I mean, they're off. One question obviously is not only what happened to Bruce, but what happened to Nightwing and Robin and Spoiler and Batgirl and everyone, right? I mean, obviously, the entire Bat family seems to be missing, and Batwoman's the only one still in Gotham. But that's a question for her show when it comes out. So, which I'm sure they'll explore in depth.
I did have some sympathy for the writers because I think it's episode 2 with Arkham, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's this situation that you used to have in the old Justice League comics where if you've got Superman on the team and Flash on the team, the problem is basically solved in seconds.
Yeah.
So there's this whole situation where they're outside. How are we going to search Arkham? How are we going to get in? And they come up with this whole convoluted plan of putting Caitlin in a wheelchair and this random civilian girl wheels her around. Just like, just have him run through the building. And I understand that's not visually as interesting, but I'm just watching and seeing these narrative pretzels that they're bending the story into, and just understand you've got Supergirl and the Flash, and you're going through this whole thing of we're going to fake a patient.
Well, I like that it just like falls apart immediately.
Yeah,
too,
right.
which is
At
funny.
least they didn't like have to go too far with it.
Yeah.
That was kind of a quibble for me, but again, I understand it. The Amazo, that was kind of a throwaway.
I liked the fact that they finally brought in Amazo.
Yeah, I like that they brought it, but I'm saying he didn't. I know the Amazo in the comics might not look that cool translated to live action, but this was just kind of a boring robot.
I think Amazo.
Well, it's very similar to what they did with Amazo in like the Justice League Unlimited world, where
he looks just like a plate armor robot, right? Yeah.
I think Amazo has the ability to kind of pull an Ultron or something where it can come back more powerful and more powerful and more powerful every time they build an Amazo robot.
The AI is better.
Yeah, so to me, it's just having Flash, Arrow, Superman, and Supergirl team up to take down Amazo was like, oh god, it's like here we're back in the Justice League movie, right? I mean, and he's so good at Superman. I love the lady who played Lois; she was fantastic job. And come on. The scene of the first episode is the shot of Smallville with the music.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Like I threw my hands up in the air and I was like, "Yeah, Smallville!" So
but that's on Earth 90, so you have to be a little sad.
Well,
maybe.
He was good. I really like that. No, that was the Smallville one. Oh, you mean
saying that because you saw the Green Arrow costume and that kind of stuff.
Stargirl.
Well, okay, again, it could just be another parallel. Those characters look similar on their Earth as well. Right?
I kind of just figure they went. We are rating the props department that we have from everything.
Everything.
See, it's Earth 90, the 90s.
Right. Smallville started what?
Like 90.
Very late 90s.
Yeah, late 90s.
Yeah. Did it? No, I think Smallville was like 2001 or something, was it? Yeah, I think it was. I think Smallville started like 2001, 2002.
If only there were some reference tool we could use.
Wikipedia or something.
Look.
If somebody wasn't on Marvel Puzzle Quest, they could instantaneously look it up.
Or not.
Yeah, 2001. Yeah, 2001 to 2011, yeah. So, just similar. But I do like... I love the fact that they used the music. And they shot from the same place and used the house and everything. So,
yeah,
that's super cool. Yeah, really excited to see where they go with it. Oh, and I do like the what's his face? Psycho Pirate. Kind of gets a little cameo in Arkham as well. So see where they go with it. And of course, cool using like the Mr. Freeze's gun and all the names on the doors and stuff. Traditional kind of
and the
fun.
crane gas.
Yeah. That was a cool fight. I really like that too. That they brought back. The
John only Barrowman. Part about that fight that threw me a little bit is that wouldn't be Oliver's fear and Barry's fear.
Why not?
Because why would... If...
You're overthinking.
Okay. Stephen Amell still has Arrow's memories, meaning it would make sense that he would see John Barrowman's murder.
But they're like their lives have been different. They have their memories at this point, but their lives haven't been that way to that point. So
what's going on at this point?
But it's not like it's summoning that. The whole idea of the Scarecrow toxins is it brings forth your fear.
But because they're in each other's bodies and like they're kind of everything's all fucked up.
But the thing is what they established kind of in these two episodes is that they've switched, but they're starting to like move in that direction,
and they get each other's personalities.
They're getting into each other's personalities, and this is that's what the crane gas does. Is it kind of accelerates that?
I love Flash trying to say, "You failed this city." It's so funny.
Charlie, the part about that fight that threw me off with the crane gas was the Flash is having a fist fight with Green Arrow, and it's actually going on past one punch.
Well, again, you have to assume he's fucked up. He doesn't actually know what's going on, right? Like he's reacting to something he thinks is moving in super speed, and he's moving in super speed, but he's actually moving in like regular speed.
He keeps missing, even though he's hit it.
He thinks Arrow's punching him, but he thinks it's in super speed, so he reacts the same speed, but it's actually slow because he's Arrow's punch is slow. Like that, you just gotta
you just go with it.
Just go with it.
Hand wave it.
Sure.
World's finest.
Yeah, good episode though. Really fun so far. I really like it.
And we got Dark Superman.
Yeah. See where they go with that.
I also think narratively it would make more sense for Amell Flash to see John Barrowman Archer, therefore matches more with who he's fighting at the time.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't get into those, okay, if he thinks he's fighting another speedster, yeah. I think they screwed that up narratively.
Is this also the greatest number of neck handkerchiefs being worn? I think there were 4. There were the Trigger twins at the end, each had and then Lois had one, and Kara had one on the farm.
Okay.
So I think it's 4.
I don't normally count the amount.
I don't normally either, but it was such a high number that it really stood out.
Bringing them back, baby.
Only from you, Kevin.
I assume the Trigger twins wear them like Jesse James bandanas to hide their faces.
Right. So
they just look like Grease characters.
Monitor using the Book of Destiny means Destiny's in this universe, which means Sandman is in this universe. So Sandman exists in the CW universe. I can't wait for the Sandman show on CW.
No. We need
something.
We need it like on an adult level, not like CW level.
That would be something.
Because there is no way they could do the Dr. Destiny episode.
What is Dr. Destiny? Because I don't remember what is his real name. I don't remember.
I was trying
John
to find
D.
It. Yeah, John
D. Yeah.
So it could be
similar.
Yeah.
I actually thought
there's no way they could do the diners.
When I first
either way, chances are if they were going to do that show, they would do it on the DC universe.
Because I'm joking, also, right?
Yeah, whatever.
or am I?
CW Sandman.
Well, here's the thing: if you want a show on HBO or a movie, you have to wait. If you want it on CW, they just do it the next weekend, right? They just make it, right? So if you really want a CW, or if you really want a Sandman show, just put it on CW, and they'll be like, "Yeah, sure, whatever, cool, here we go, all right."
You got 5 rooms to choose from and like 3 city streets.
Yeah, and we already greenlit you for 5 seasons, so go for it. Oh, dude, they kept bringing John Constantine on it. Oh, I want this more than I actually thought I did. Anyway, CW crossover. We'll talk about more of the
anybody
finale.
see the DC Legends mid-season finale?
No.
No,
It's the puppets,
fact,
right?
It looks
I am-
bonkers.
Yeah.
I am way behind on that show, and my TiVo died yesterday.
Oh,
Wow, wow, wow.
that's no good. To pull out the hard drive and try to rip them off or something.
Can you switch it onto a new hard drive?
Well, as Ryan said, I need to pull out the hard drive, see if I can get to the actual file system. It won't boot, but if it's files that I can rip off there, that would be fine. I did look into it. I could potentially buy a new hard drive, swap it out, and now we're back into tech support talk.
This has been a fantastic episode of the Comic Conspiracy Podcast. We're going to wrap up now, but before we do, I have to thank some wonderful Patreon backers because we didn't get to finish that last week. All our Patreon had not quite finished processing everything, but thanks, Patreon. Now you're all good. I'm gonna thank some of our backers here, and if you want to follow along and go support their great products and their great people, Julian Titus has the Nerds Without Pants podcast at pixelbit.com.
No pants.
Jody Lawson is canon the Triad Comics Anthology, triadcomicstudios.com. Go check out those comic books. Our good friends Sam Che, Craig Anderson, Joe Duff, Andrew Nelson Mendez at Recovery of an Anime Junkie Podcast, Darfox8 over at Monk Nations, and the Page Turners Podcast, which is at pageturnerspodcast.libsyn.com. They talk about comic book every week, so make sure you go check those guys out. And we do have all sorts of other backers we would like to thank. We're going to burn through these names really quick. Maybe I'll put some fun music behind this. I don't know. Dennis Jansen, Alex McHale, Matthew Schnapp, Adam, David Baroldi, Don Kilson, Mark Long, Ivan Liskanik, Mike Durangio, Brian Murawski, Miles Gakula, Bryce Larson quotes. You're going to have some quotes to quote in a few weeks when Bryce is back, so don't worry, he's coming.
Yeah, but he's going to stop. He's not going to be a Patreon. He'll be a Patreon for 2 months and then gone.
Paul Schultz, Mark Smith, Joseph Rodriguez, Jack Ildefonso, Christopher Noyes, David Safar, our good friends over at Identity Stunt. Go check out their comics at Identity Stunt. PJ Ryder, Josh Elliott, Tyler Willits, Rob Bendixson, Travis Fleischman, Amy Foster, Mason Barber, Enerjar Banerjee, Robert Lane, Christopher Stone, Thad Gutschall, Timothy Rowanker, Chris Lockhart, Aaron Wright, Father Dante, Nick Harrison, Alex Young, Chris Palaki, Kevin Ellis, Chris Olivis, Wally Ansari, Nick Zappas, Mario Miranda, Dominic Arisman, Chris Bunch.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell?
Oh, yeah.
Chris, you want a refund? Chris Nguyen, Edgar Moreno, and Andrew Cuscieri. Thank you guys all very, very much. Andrew Cuscieri did some cool...
he backs us so that when he comes back up here, he has a place to go on Tuesday nights.
Andrew Cuscieri did some cool Red Dead 2 Redemption videos on YouTube. You should go check those out as well. Thank you all very, very much for your patronage at patreon.com/comic conspiracy. ComicConspiracyPodcast.com, Geekbox 9 and iTunes is where you can find all our previous episodes. Go on there, check it out. It always helps me rate and review us. Digital.comicsconspiracy.biz is where you can buy your digital comics. We have tons of stuff on there. We had tons of Black Friday sales and
did you get the numbers for
Christmas holidays? Yeah, that's fine. Get some Christmas holiday sales. Then I'm sure if you get an iPad for Christmas or something cool or a tablet, just check out digital.comicsconspiracy.biz. Buy some cool comics on there. Of course, we do ship. ComicsConspiracy.biz is our regular comic store. You can get a subscription as well over at customer.comichub.com. Just use Comics Conspiracy as your store, and we'll get in contact with you about setting up a subscription with us. ConspiratedBrock.com, that's Brock's blog and video pull list. Mm-hmm. And statue unboxing videos.
Yeah, I've been trying to get more up. Especially since DC's been shipping them so frequently. Jesus.
It's been a lot. Wanders in the Fourth Dimension podcast. That's Charlie's Doctor Who podcast. And, of course, Etsy.com/shop/Leanne Hill Art. That is my wife Leanne's Etsy store. And, we'll ship out prints. I don't think she's taking any commissions, though. I think that's all over. I don't think she'd get anything out before Christmas if she could. Ryan Higgins Ryan, that is myself. That is my Twitter handle. I'm on Twitter. Ryan Higgins Ryan. That's it. Brock's Brock Sager. Bryce is Larson Bryce, if you want to go follow him. Toby's Toby XI. Charlie's Insanity and Chaos. That Kevin Sharp is That Kevin Sharp.
CS.
What's you?
Chris G. Bunch.
Chris G. Bunch is Chris G. Bunch.
Yep.
If you want to follow Chris. CS Shea is Scott Shea, if you want to go follow him. I'm sure he'll be back on in a week or two. And Comics Con Store is a store. Comics Conspiracy, if you want to follow us. Geekbox Comedy Button, Manga Machinations, and the Infinite Binge over on YouTube. Make sure you go check those guys out. We always appreciate when people... Why did you turn the lights on? We're closed. Thank you. We always appreciate checking out the other podcasts that we do on the little network here. That helps. And we will catch you guys next week. We're going to talk some Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and do some Q&A. And we'll have some questions and hopefully some answers.